So hi everyone, thank you very much for watching or listening. Liam Hartery here today with another episode of Presenting Champions for the Simply Inspired podcast. Today joined by the first ever professional Romanian bare knuckle fighter Ionel Rayko, who has also competed extensively in mixed martial arts and kickboxing. He has quite a lengthy list of accolades to his name, including being a four-time champion in MMA. He's also won Intercontinental Championships, Super Middleweight Championship, the English Championship, I think, in bare knuckle, and he's the Extreme Boxing champ. He's competed for quite a few bare knuckle boxing promotions as well, including most recently BYB Extreme in the Triangle Ring, the mighty Trigon. And today we're also going to be talking about his dream to become the first ever Romanian bare knuckle boxing world champion, a dream that I personally believe will come true very soon. So, champ, thank you for coming on the show once again. It's great to have you on here.
Thanks for having me. Thanks for the invite.
No problem at all. And hopefully I've done that introduction justice, with not missing anything, because you're a very busy man. You had a lot of professional fights, so it's very, very exciting. So, like I was saying to you, let's start with, the present day and the future, and then we can work back. Tell us about your dream, first of all, to become the first Romanian bare knuckle boxing world champion. This is something that really lights your fire. And I believe you said that you wish to achieve this, and then you will retire. So talk to us a little bit about what that dream means to you, please.
Yeah, actually, this is my goal at the minute, because when I've been like first Romanian bare knuckle boxer in 2017, the bare knuckle sport was like almost entirely illegal, you know. But I had the opportunity to fight, and that so yeah. And I've started my journey in 2017, and now my goal is actually to become, as you said, the first Romanian bare knuckle world champion. So yeah, I'm working on that. I've got 5 fights now in bare knuckle, 4-1, uh, and yeah, I'm looking forward to it. This is the only thing keeps me motivated about the sport at the minute. It's I don't know. I'm starting getting bored. Like I don't know. Sometimes if you have no like proper motivation, you start getting lazy, but that. So yeah, this is my future goal.
Amazing. Well, as I said, it's a goal that I believe will come true for you, and I'm not just saying that to be polite or anything. It's just that with your background, with the fighting world, and your dedication and your skill set, I believe you can get there to be world champion. So definitely look forward to watching that journey. Um, let's take a little look back as well. When you first started competing in bare knuckle boxing, obviously you were coming from this other background, with kickboxing, with MMA, with so many fights. When you initially joined up with it, did you plan at that time to take it a long way, or at that time were you just curious to see? Because now obviously you want to be the world champion, but in the beginning, did you always want that, or did you just you were just seeing where it goes, type of thing? If you get what I mean.
I just when I'm seeing like a new sport or new challenge, and just let's give it a try. I didn't even think about I'll get like opportunity to fight for the title or to be like whatever I am right now, in a bare knuckle boxing. I mean, no, I said I'll take a fight. Let's see what's up, and then I don't know. I had no future plans after that fight, But then, actually it worked out.
Yeah, worked out very well. So obviously there's some amazing wins. One win that I have to ask you about is obviously quite recent, which is the BYB Extreme fight with JD Burns, in the triangle ring. And with this, I don't really have like a really specific question about it. I'd just like you to share your experiences, because Obviously, it's still a traditional sort of bare knuckle fight, but the ring is different, so maybe it makes a different style. It was a fantastic win. You know, you've had a lot of great wins, but it was really something special. So, can you just share with us your memories and your thoughts from that fight, please?
Yeah, actually, it was very, very good experience. First time when I tried this like small surface. Uh, was very good opportunity. They have different rules a part of BKB. Let's say, yeah, they have like clinching. You cannot do dirty boxing and all that. But I'm not fan of that. I like fight clean, bring clean knockouts or get knocked out clean. You know what I mean? So, but yeah, it was very good experience. About this guy, which was like a fan favorites. Yeah, he was very good fighter. He fought for the title in his previous fight. He actually lost the fight, I think, by decision or something like that. But he's very, very tough guy. He never been knocked out, And actually, I've I've done it, because I've been very motivated because my previous fight I've lost it by points, So I had like extra motivation. I said if I'm gonna lose this fight, I'm not gonna get opportunity to fight for the title soon, So I said kill or be killed, like I always do, So yeah, it was very nice, very good. I look forward to it, Maybe I'll fight in the future again.
Absolutely. Well, I hope so, and I think that people who love watching fights everywhere, we all hope so. But obviously, with bare knuckle boxing, the best is yet to come. With going for the championship and things like this. But looking back at the fights so far, was this last fight your favorite, or do you have any other fights that stand out to you as being your favorites, specifically with bare knuckle now? And then we'll talk about the rest in a minute.
Listen, honestly, I think this is like the best knockout in my BKB career, my bare knuckle career. Yeah, it's my best knockout. But I've got all four wins by way of knockout. But this one most impressive, let's say. But I don't think if it's all the fights was very important for me at that particular moment. Because of course the means a lot. And yeah, all of them. Actually, I'm happy with all of them. I can't say this was the best or previous was the best or whatever, but all of them, yeah. I
Yeah.
like them all, actually, I like them all. Even that fight which I've lost by points, there was a proper war, I knocked down my opponent in the first round, he knocked me down in second. There was back and forth, there was like proper was fight of the night. We got the medal for the fight of the night, So actually, even if I'm losing, I'm winning, So yeah, it was a good experience. I'm happy with all of them. That those losses makes me stronger, So actually, yeah.
Absolutely, absolutely. It's a good way to look at it. So, looking back at your history as well, obviously your career is pretty extensive, as we mentioned with the mixed martial arts, the kickboxing and things. Before we go any further with this, how many fights have you had altogether? Because I think it's like when I was researching this, it's like 30. I think I found like 30 for something for kickboxing, 30 something for MMA, but it's probably more than this. There's probably a lot. But obviously, different records tell you different things. So how many altogether?
Around I've got around 80 fights at the moment, all is like mixed up. I've got in kickboxing like around 30, over 30, something like that. In MMA again like 30, in boxing I've got like I don't know 11, 12 fights, something like that. In of course bare knuckle boxing I've got 5 now. So yeah, around 80 fights if I don't miss, because I've tried to count it sometime, but they are like, start fighting 2010, so it's been like 13 years. So some of the fights, maybe I don't remember, maybe I missed them, but around 80 fights.
Yeah. Well, it's a lot. You like to keep busy, which is very cool. Now, you mentioned at the beginning, about the bare knuckle boxing keeping you motivated to try something new. But obviously, when we look back at your career with these different styles, you know, boxing, MMA, kickboxing, you're trying like all different styles. So, talk to us a little bit about the motivation to test yourself in different ways instead of sticking to the same thing, if you get what I mean, you know, because you like to push the limits, I think, and like try something
Yeah.
different. What motivates you to do that?
I don't know. I just like charge myself, because I don't know if sometimes I don't find any more motivation like to train every day the specific kickboxing or the I don't know all the fights are different build, but sometimes I'm getting bored like even in life, I'm getting bored of things to do it like every day, like getting to work every day, getting up, go to work, come back, I'm getting bored of this thing, so I need to change something, to I don't know. 'Cause otherwise, you get in, you're just getting bored of it, So that's why I just always try to bring new things to I don't know to challenge myself, with any rules, So yeah, because at the end of the day, it's a fighting game. Fight is the same, It's punches, kicks, knees, whatever, But it's just different set of rules. Yeah, if I know fighting, I can try anything.
Yeah, absolutely. But it's a good sort of insight into it because people can apply those lessons to other life areas, if you get what I mean. So, you know, it shows, part of the reason I ask is it shows people like what you've achieved. It shows other people what's possible type of thing. Like if you dedicate yourself to something, if you push yourself, if you have, you know, clear goals and like a strong motivation. So there's a little bit of like inspiration there. I don't know if you realize it, but your life, it has that, you know. And even what you're doing now, like making, you know, working towards making history and representing your country and stuff, it has inspiration for, you know, for other people, even if they're not fighters, you know, even if it's like a different life area, it can still motivate them, if you get what I mean. So, you know, it's, yeah, you know, that's what I think anyway. So moving on into a couple of other things then. You've obviously won a bunch of stuff in MMA and in kickboxing. Now, I asked you this with, and with boxing as well, but I asked you this with bare knuckle. Do you have a favorite? Looking back on MMA and some of these other styles, what are your proudest moments personally? You know, maybe it's winning titles, maybe it's like a particular fight that was a very tough fight, you know, maybe it's something else. But I love asking this because you never get the answer you expect, you know, especially with people like yourself who've had so many fights. So do you have like ones that you're the most proud of more than any other?
Uh, yeah, I've got actually a lot of moments, but let's say like that. I think maybe when because I've won the championships, as you mentioned, I've got belt, I've got like international, but I think the most important, let's say, eh, at the minute, let's exclude the bare knuckle fighting, is I think the Extreme Boxing Championship, which it's extreme rules. It's like boxing rules with MMA gloves. So I won the championship. I knocked out the guy inside 1 minute, something like that. And it was very, very tough guy. He used to fight like MMA, bare knuckle boxing. He fought bare knuckle boxing as well. He was very, very tough guy, and a lot bigger size than me. And I knocked him out inside 1 minute. I won the championship, and I didn't actually had the proper training camp for that. I've been ill before the fight, so I had maybe let's say a week of preparation, and I had to cut weight as well, some weight like 2-3 kilos. Anyway, not much. So that I think that one, let's say, is like the most important to win. Actually, that belt means a lot because it's like special rules. It's not like kickboxing, boxing. It's extreme boxing is something like special. Special sport. Which. Not everyone wants to get involved to get punched in the face with the MMA gloves.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I've been to a few shows like with that rule set, you know, and it's very much it's like a different type of thing altogether, you know. It has like a different dynamic, you know, and like it's very brutal, but it's like a different skill set to it, you know. So yeah, I mean, big respect on that one. And I think that that sport as well, with like the sort of hybrid rule type of thing, and like the different gloves, is getting bigger as well. You know, as well as the extreme boxing. I've seen a few other shows doing that, so it's very cool, very cool. So those are some of your proudest moments, and those are some of the things. Now I have to ask you about toughest fights because the thing is, you fought a lot of tough people, and obviously you're a very tough person yourself as well. I have to say, you know, as well as very skilled. It's not just tough, but you know what I mean. But obviously, a lot of the people you fought like that, you've made light work of them. I mean, you were saying like the guy with extreme boxing, you knocked him out in 1 minute. So, which fights for you stand out in your mind as being the toughest, like more like a war, you know, like obviously the bare knuckle fight, the one we mentioned earlier that you lost, you know, it was back and forth, it was very exciting. But tough isn't always like who hits the hardest, you know. I mean, sometimes it's like a technical thing, sometimes it's like life outside of the ring or the cage, like if you're ill or something, but you have to fight anyway or whatever. So it takes many forms, you know. But that is the question, really. I mean, which ones stand out as being the toughest and why? You know?
I think my toughest fight, let's say, was I had the tournament, 4-month tournament. I don't know if I'm not wrong, 2018 or 2019. I'm not sure. I'm not 100% sure. I had 4-month tournaments. I won the semi-final in second round by knockout, and I went to the final. And the final was 5 rounds. You know, so I fought a very tough guy. You know, like for 5 rounds. That I think that was my hardest fight. You know, I won the fight. I won the championship tournament, but I think that was the hardest fight because after that fight I was throwing up like for half an hour, you know, because I pushed myself because I didn't know it's actually 5 rounds. The final is 5 rounds. I was expecting like 3 rounds, you know. The army misunderstood, you know. So I was expecting, and in the last round I pushed myself like in third round. Obviously, I pushed myself like to the limit, you know. I said I need to win this fight. I knocked the guy down, you know, and I said okay, I want to fight. And then they come with the fourth round. I said like, what the heck is going on here? It's fourth round. And then again, you know, so that's why I had to reset myself like after every round, you know, because I was saying how many rounds are here, and also yeah, that was I think the hardest fight. And then I think that this one, the bare knuckle, was actually a hard fight. Because in kickboxing, I did have very hard fights. I mean, like I have like 19 wins by knockout, you know, so I got somehow lucky, let's say, because I didn't have too much to do. Anyway, I had the hard fights in every sport and everywhere, but I think this one was his personal list.
Yeah, that was the toughest one. It's amazing because, you know, it's something that, like, obviously, if you're a fighter, you know this. If you're in the corner or if you're in camp with people or whatever, you know what goes on. So, obviously, a lot of other fighters, they watch a lot of my stuff, but for fight fans, you know, out there, they don't see this, you know, they see the fight happen, but they don't know like what's going on, you know, behind the scenes and the build up to it and things like this. So it's a different thing. Like myself personally, I'm often like in camp with people and things like this and around it in that way. So I know what goes in, although saying that it's still different actually being in there. But somebody who's a fan, like they like if they're watching from the outside, they don't know. Like say you were throwing up for half an hour or something, they don't know these things, you know. So it sort of shows what goes on behind the scenes, you know, which I think is very cool. In all fairness,
Yeah.
on the subject of other fighters, you know, watching this and listening to this, I'd like to get your thoughts on sort of a bigger topic at this point as to what advice you would give to people who want to achieve like a big goal in life type of thing, you know, people who are aiming for something, like they're aiming to a high level type of thing, whether it's in fighting or whether it's in something else. What would you say to those people who like want to achieve something big, you know?
Because I don't believe in talents and all that crap, you know. You need to work and I don't know, follow your dreams. That's all. You don't need actually nothing more than a heart and desire, and that's it. Just keep working, keep doing it. So fall 10 times, win one. That's all that matters.
Hmm. Absolutely. Well, it's really good advice. You know what they say, hard work beats talent. When talent doesn't work hard,
That
it's very valuable lesson. Um, so moving into the last couple of things, of this interview, the last couple of questions. This next one, it will seem sort of obvious to you, but I still like to ask you about it anyway. Obviously, you're representing your country, on the world stage, if you like, on these, big arenas and everything like this. What does it mean to you to be representing your country, to be the like the fighting pride of Romania type of thing, on the world stage?
Yeah, of course, means a lot, means a lot, 'cause especially there are a lot of good fights, Romanian fights in all different sports, but in bare knuckle boxing, I can say proudly I'm like best Romanian bare knuckle boxer. I've got the best record, the best results. So yeah, I'm very proud actually of my achievement, especially in bare knuckle boxing. Because the other things, in kickboxing, there are a lot of fighters, in this sport. Yeah.
Yeah, I understand. But with the bare knuckle, you're like a pioneer of that in your country type of thing, and your place in history will be secure with that. Um, so moving into the last couple of things.
Yeah, what I'm saying is the mindset in a fighting game is the most important, because you can have skills, you can have like power, whatever you have, but if you don't have mindset, you're gonna lose, because that's the most important. That makes you going, that makes you going. So yeah, I think I don't know. I'm best with the bulletproof mindset. Honestly, if I'm not even trained properly for the fight or something, I'm still going and perform. Like I'm fully trained. So yeah, this is the most important motivation. And that you know.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, I've seen this a lot with the fight game where, two people come together, like for the face-off or something, and both of them are trained very hard, but you can tell who's going to win um, quite early on, like with the strength of the willpower and like when they come together, the confidence. And it's, again, it's a valuable lesson for life itself. Um, the last question really is obviously to give a shout out to the people who support you and the people who help you. Now, obviously, this can be fans, this can be people who support you on social media, but it can also be like sponsors, trainers, coaches. There's a lot of people doing good work behind the scenes, but they don't get recognized. So, is there anyone that you'd like to give a shout out to or give a thank you to out there?
I just want to give a shout, give a big thank to everyone who's supporting me, who's watching me, who's following my career, actually, because of course that matters, especially my family who's always support me unconditionally, Actually, even if my family doesn't like what I'm doing, because for my safety, for my health, and all that, they do support me, they watch me, and of course, coaches and trainers and everyone who actually the sport fans, actually the sport fans. Anyway, even the haters, because they making me going forward. I give them another reason to hate. I just love that, because everyone has like fans and haters and all that, So yeah, and of course, thanks to you for having me and promoting my.
Well, you're very welcome, and it's been a real pleasure talking with you today and sharing everything that we've shared. So I know obviously with the signal it's been a little bit tricky, but we've done a great interview. So I'm really grateful for you making the time for this. Thank you so much. Thank you very much for watching. Please subscribe to the Simply Inspired YouTube channel, and there'll be more videos coming soon.